Welcome back to our channel. Please consider subscribing if you have not yet. Originally, we were going to break the nursery wall videos into 2 videos, thus the voiceover right now, but we decided it makes sense to make them one
So
video.
what you're seeing here is the beginning stages. The room was painted this dark green color before, and Dave just patched up the walls. That little nook by the closet is where the bookshelf Dave's building is going to go. He ripped out the framing around the closet so it doesn't have a door and it's just going to be open.
I will zoom out so you can get a better view overall.
We didn't find any beadboard or wainscoting or any other wood paneling that we liked, so Dave cut all these boards individually. We like the width of them, and they have a little V channel in the center, and they sit in a trough that he created, which you can see as the base that goes all the way around. I'm gonna cut to all of the wood paneling being up, and you'll see that there's a trim piece across the top, and Dave just primed the whole thing so it's ready for painting. Here he is just pointing out that little V channel that I was talking about. That's what gives the whole thing dimension, and showing how they fit into that trough. So if he ever wanted to remove these panels, they're not all individually attached to the wall, so the removal process is going to be pretty easy. Now he's just priming the top of the wall, which I feel terrible about because we didn't end up doing our original plan, which was a custom mural, and I'll explain that a little bit later.
The test: ecological, aka the paint color, and dim sum weed grass sod. Yeah, that's what they call all these million
Milkweed pod.
Milkweed pod. And this one has a really complicated name I'm drawing a blank on too. Dove.
So as Dave said, we ended up going with the Milkweed Pod by Bear. So he's painting the entire wood paneling, the Milkweed Pod. And as the wonderful world of editing allows, here is the finished product. Again, my heart breaks that Dave painted the dove all over because we ended up covering this up with wallpaper. But he also painted the milkweed pod inside of the closet, and I think that gives it a really cool pop.
Hi, pretty lady. What you doing with your mama?
So even though we didn't go in this direction, I think it's important to include the pitfalls in the project. That dove color that you saw on the top, my intention was to paint a custom mural over that. I picked up a bunch of paint samples just in hopes to use the acrylic paint to mix and try to replicate these colors as closely as possible so there was consistency across the mural. So once I started, this is my inspiration. Once I started to actually draw it, I really liked the dog park. I thought it turned out really well. I started to do a circus, which I liked, but it was a little bit cluttered. And then when I got to a little town, busy town area, I just felt like the whole thing wasn't flowing. And I know myself, I'll be critiquing this work every time I'm in there. So I figured the best bet would just be to scrap the mural altogether and do wallpaper. This is a little inspiration board that I did for the whole nursery. I think these are so helpful before you purchase anything because maybe you don't see how everything fits in the room to scale, but you're able to compile the colors that will be in the room together and pick out what you like and see what works together. We didn't end up going with everything on here, but it definitely helped to start our theme, which was a dapper dog park. For example, that little top hat we didn't get, but it gives you a great idea of what you want to do moving forward. Here is the prepped wallpaper station. We ended up going with the little dog wallpaper that I had in my mood board. This was not peel and stick, but it was a water-based adhesive. Here I'm just framing the 2 dachshund prints that I had ordered. I think that it's really great when if you have a muted palette, if you put just a really bold pop of color like this yellow, and we'll see how it looks later in the room. So back to the wallpaper, which Dave was simultaneously installing as I was doing the prints.
The adhesive that is on the wallpaper that we got is a water base, like I said. So you're just adding water to the back versus a peel and stick, which is exactly like a sticker. Dave said they both have their own pitfalls. I've never installed the water-based adhesive. But the great thing about this pattern is that you don't have to match, like, you know, there's not a dog cut in half between two pieces that you have to match perfectly. So it's a lot easier to install wallpaper like that, regardless of the backing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing to see the future progress of the nursery. The bed we still have to take out, and there I have all of the decorations and books and everything ready for the bookcase. So that'll be coming in future videos. Again, hope you enjoyed this. Give it a like if you did. Thanks so much. See you later.